Now, while selecting any job, what should be the criteria for selection from students' perspective? Like, what should a candidate look for in a company while selecting any job? I would request Dr. Bhat to answer this question first. Dr. Bhat, over to you.
See, basically, most of the companies have a habit of sharing the job description for whichever the opportunities or whichever the requirement they call for. So the first most important is to look at the job description. What exactly is expected from that particular student when they join it. As Aditi has already mentioned, that no one expects everything to know, but that is the fundamental things which are laid down, that yes, this is the type of work and this is the way you are supposed to work or supposed to deliver from whatever perspective. So that is most important. Look at that particular aspect. And second thing, I think everyone has already touched upon is the career growth, because that is most important. So what are the growth opportunities which are there, and whether there is a possibilities to grow further in that particular area. So that is also a most important factor to be considered when student look at that. As I think Ankit has already touched upon, Aditi also touched upon, is like what you want to become. So that is very important. Be the objective should be very clear, that where you want to go. Your choice is very important, because if you get into a wrong place because of some compromises, or you are not getting a job, and then after 1 or 1.5 years you want to change, then your all experiences goes down, because everyone looks at your experience and then relevant experience. So if you are changing the profile after 1 or 1.5 years, then all your experiences, maybe it is switching from coding to IPR, or from coding to insurance, or from insurance to R&D, whichever the way. If there is no relevant, then your all experiences goes waste. So it is very important to look at what is your objective, and what are the growth opportunities you have in that particular thing. Because every company has got growth, but then whether you are open to do that with the, because everywhere when you get into your fundamental B Farm or M Farm will work for the your entry level, but after that you have to develop the particular skill in that particular area, whether it is insurance or coding certifications or IPR. Also there are certifications, so everywhere you have to develop your skill. So that is very important, that you go on, whether there are opportunities to do that, and then whether you can align yourself to that. So I think these are the things which student can look at from. And of course, yes, compensation is one part, but then I don't give much importance to the compensation at the beginning. I don't advise students to look at the compensation at the first position, because we always look at that as a learning curve. Look at the opportunity there, and look at the learning opportunities there. Develop your skill, because everyone knows that there is a huge gap between academics and the industry. So when they get into the industry, there will be lot of things will change. And sometimes it happens that what we have learned is not really applied over here. So it is very important that give more important to the learning.
I agree with Mr. Bhat as well. So he has given very clear insights of what the students should have in mind while making the selection in career. I would also like to add some points in terms of, see, it is very important for the students in their last semesters that they understand that what interests them. So once they have an idea about that, and they have an idea in terms of where they want to stick around, and it's very important for you to choose your first job in terms of your long term career as well, because what you can do and what can help you at this point is, in your last semester, speak to your alumni, speak to your seniors in terms of understand where they have been placed, understand the industry, just deep dive, do some research in terms of the job descriptions, uh, best I think is speaking to your seniors, because even in our company we have from VS College many students since 4 5 years. Last latest batch that we have, so they are I think the best guys who can give you clear insights about what is there for you in the next company. So make the most use of that. And during your interviews as well, be very open with your HR, be very open with the panelists in terms of getting more insights about the role. And whenever you get the JD, do your research around the JD, because that will give you more insights of what is happening in the market. Also, it is very important that you study about the company also before you go for the interview. Because I've seen students last time, they just, have a very short, they do a very short research and come, thinking that they are freshers. But I think that is a very wrong pattern that we follow. It's very important for the student to do his or her own research, because that helps in terms of giving your best shot for the interview as well. And also, in terms of, as even Aditi rightly said, there is no rocket science expected from you guys. You just have to be thorough in your medical terminologies, your whatever projects that you have done in your entire course. So be thorough about what you're doing, and then you're going to give your best shot during the interviews.
The next question now is on what a student should look for or what should be his perspective while selecting a job. Now we would like to know while selecting any candidate for a job, what are the criteria for selection? Is it academic profile or curriculum, enrichment skills, what it is? Because some students might be very good in academics, but they don't have any other experience or any extracurricular activity or any add-on courses. Some students might not be so good in academics, but then they would have experienced all these other fields, like participating in various functions or undergoing various courses and all. So when you as a selection part of the selection, what exactly are you looking in any particular candidate? I would request Dr. Hitesh Doshi to enlighten our students about this.
So we have been taking up a lot of freshers. I also took up a lot of freshers in my previous company, India's Life Sciences, and in fact, my entire formulation development and the manufacturing department was being run by freshers who were trained by me to work in the organization, and the company achieved an EU GMP inspection approval also. So freshers do have a lot of potential. We screen the freshers very, very keenly to look at the spark in the fresher. That yes, this is the person who can do this job for us. What we look at and what sometimes freshers do not deliver well in the interview process is that we look for basic concepts. So normally when freshers come to me, I don't expect them to know the best of what is used in the pharmaceutical industry, but I expect them to know at least the very basics. So I ask the question to them, what are you comfortable talking about? So if they select a particular topic and I'm comfortable talking about this, then they need to be really, really comfortable and they really need to know that thing thoroughly. Yeah, like even Shrutika mentioned that you need to have deep dive and you need to understand that thing really well and then talk about it. So when you talk about that with clarity and with conviction, then it really convinces the interviewer that yes, this person has done his homework well. He is the right candidate for me. He has clarity of thought. He's not confused. When you find a candidate who is confused, that is the interviewers don't like this kind of a candidate. They like to have candidates who have a very clear thought process. Yeah. So even sometimes candidates come. I mean, say we are interviewing candidates for quality assurance. We are interviewing candidates in terms of formulation development. They themselves are very clear on where they want to go. Then why did you come in the first place? So companies will not like to hire candidates who are not sure of what they want to do. You need to do your homework beforehand before you come to the interview. Yeah? Read the job description well. Please talk to your teachers. The first thing you need to talk to is your if you have a guide, research guide, please talk to them to understand where your strengths lie, what you can do, what you can do well. You can also do your own self-analysis and then present it to your teachers, your guides, your seniors as well, and ask them if what you have done is right. Supposing somebody has an excellent flair for writing, yeah, an excellent flair for writing is something very, very keen. I think I would say very, very important in the insurance field, because you need to do a lot of writing in that field. Also, a good flair of writing is important when you do regulatory affairs or when you do quality assurance. You need to write a lot of SOPs and procedures, and you need to link them to each other. So that is where a lot of writing skills comes into the picture. So you need to understand it that way and build your skill set and identify that this is where my skill lies. A very different take on how you need to do this is that there are a lot of psychometric tests that are available. I've only heard about them, but many companies do use these tests while taking candidates. So that gives you a very clear picture of where it kind of gives you a very strengths and weakness analysis of the candidate, very easily, and also gives you an insight into the thought process of the candidate, how the candidate thinks, in what direction he thinks, whether that is there a skew, is he inclined to think in a particular direction, or is he thinking logically, or is he thinking based on some bias? All that analysis is done by those psychometric tests. So those it can be done in the college as well. If you call a good career counselor, they can do it for you as well. You can provide it as a service to your students, and I'm sure they'll benefit from this.
So, doctor, when it comes to the extracurricular activities or the add-on courses and the CGPA or the basic academic performance of the student, what kind of preferences or weightages you have?
Yes, definitely. Academic excellence does have some weightage to it, but yeah. So there is no such rule that a person who has got the highest marks also does well in interview, or also does the best also in the industry. That correlation is very weak. You know, sometimes I've seen people who are very average in their academic performances who have done excellent, who have done really, really well in the industry. Yeah. What we also see is that most of the candidates who have come from college, maybe our generation was different, but the current generation, you have learned a lot of things. You have so many things now to your disposal. I mean, you have the internet, so everything, all the information that you want is available at the click of a button. So you need to really keep yourself updated on what is happening in your field of interest, and that is how it will help you to perform well in interviews, perform well in your careers. Yeah. And also think of it like this: that any job that you take is a first step in your career of a long journey that you're going to take. So please put in all sincerity, put in all efforts in ensuring that you're doing your best over there, because that is your stepping stone to the next phase of your career, and the next and the next. So it forms a foundation for your career. So please don't take it very lightly in any ways. And at each stage in your career, you need to think of what skills you need to add, because you're going to grow in your career. So you need at each different stage in your career, you need different skill sets. Yeah. So you need to do that self-identification yourself. Talk to your superiors, your boss, your colleagues, or maybe your HR when you join a company, as to what you feel would be the skill that you need to add, which will help you to go to the next level. I think the career progression is a very, very what do you say, systematic process, and who can understand better than you yourself? You know what you want to do in your career, and you can take this thing.
In addition to what Hitesh has told, Hitesh has rightly pointed out that, apart from the, academics, we look at other aspects. So I would like to add over here, I think most of the companies now hooked on to some or other, methods of interviews, like something like CBI, competency-based interviews, or BEI, event interviews. So these are all things which is apart from the academics. There are questions which will be asked on those aspects. I think getting more deeper into what Hitesh has rightly mentioned, hooking on some kind of or picking up some of the answer and then getting more deeper into that and look at how confidence he or she has got on that particular project, what they have done or something like that. So this is very important that students can look at what exactly is CBI or what exactly is DEI, because these are the ways people assess at the beginning. Now, apart from the academics, yes, fundamentals will be always assessed, but other than that, the etiquettes and the attitude and the confidence, communication skills, those things will be looked at. And second thing I would like to add is especially students ask questions. At the end of the interview, take an initiative to ask questions and find out more information about the role or the growth or the organization. Don't hesitate to ask questions, because that is also important, that which we also feel confident that yes, you are have that kind of inclination or initiative to ask. I think this is what.
Thank you, Dr. Bhat. You very correctly you said that even the candidate should ask questions and get their doubts clarified then and then. That was a very good suggestion from your